Is there a key to maintaining a steady focus in the most stressful situations? Sports psychologists may have an answer to this. How come that a star basketball player like Luka Doncic has an average of 7.8 free throw attempts per game, which puts him among the top 5, but ranks only 95th in percentage of free throws made with 75%, while other NBA players like Trae Young, for example, with a somewhat similar average of free throw attempts per game of 7.27, reach a free throw percentage of 89.7%, so scoring at the line almost 15% more often. Of course, there's rarely one definite answer to questions like these, but one specific strategy professional athletes use increasingly more to stay focused when it counts is the quiet eye. Hi everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Jonas, co-founder at FlowLab, a mental fitness app for ambitious high performers that helps you train the self-regulation skills and mindsets needed to find more flow states. Before we begin, just a quick reminder to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you want to support us. It always means a lot to us. We're uploading a new video every Friday. If you're an athlete, you probably know these moments where you need your entire focus. When you shoot a penalty kick, attempt to throw a dart into the bullseye, during golf putting, or as mentioned in the introduction, when attempting a free throw in basketball. You're under a lot of pressure, perhaps feel a bit anxious too. All eyes on you, it's now or never. Sports psychologists found a strategy that helps you block out any anxious thoughts or distracting stimuli to keep one's attention focused and to immensely improve performance. The quiet eye. The quiet eye was defined by Vickers in 1996 as the final visual fixation or tracking gaze on a specific location or object before performing a final movement. What exactly you're fixating your gaze on depends on the type of sports, of course. Dart players may visually fixate the bullseye before throwing a dart, a basketball player the front of the rim before a free throw, and a soccer player perhaps a corner of the goal they are aiming at. And also in sports where the movement is less self-paced but more interceptive, like volleyball or baseball, the quiet eye can be observed. Here, the quiet eye is the steady focus on the ball as it is passed from one player to the next, basically the ball tracking duration. Usually, experienced athletes already focus their gaze on the decisive object before they perform the actual movement. It's when the brain plans the subsequent movement. Also, they keep their gaze longer on that location during, but also after they've performed the movement, apparently for a minimum of 100 milliseconds. And the ideal duration depends on the type of sports, of course. What may seem pretty geeky if you hear about it for the first time turns out to be a huge performance booster. In 2001, Harley and Vickers found that after training the quiet eye, basketball players' free throw percentage improved by an astonishing 23% after 2 seasons. Similarly great results were found for experienced soccer penalty kickers who, after a 7-week quiet eye training, made a goal 50% more often compared to the control group who practiced taking penalty without specifically training a quiet eye. A quiet eye improves attention control as well as perceived control, so believing that the outcome is in your hands, which plays an important role when it comes to dealing with anxiety and choking under pressure. Rather than becoming nervous when focusing on your heartbeat, for example, your focus is shifted outward. This is suggested to protect against the otherwise debilitating effects of anxiety. With this in mind, keep the eye on the ball gets a whole new ring to it. And an especially interesting line of research which connects the best of both worlds for me is on basketball players whose quiet eye is assumed to improve their flow experiences. There's certainly more research needed in this area, but neuroscientifically it would make sense. It's getting a bit nerdy now, but basically we need a so-called top-down attentional control for flow states. Put simply, that means we keep our attention on certain features. It's goal-directed attention rather than being distracted by our environment, which would be a more stimulus-driven attention, also referred to as bottom-up attention processing. During flow, we're highly focused on what we're doing. We get sucked into the activity until we lose track of time, we become one with it and block out anything else that might distract us. Similar patterns have been detected for the quiet eye. There's the dorsal attention network, whose purpose is to maintain focus and blocking any distractions that may intrude from the second network, the ventral attention network. This one directs attention to unexpected, attention-grabbing stimuli. These can be stimuli in the environment, but also intruding thoughts or emotions, because the ventral attention network includes structures like the hippocampus or the amygdala, which are responsible for memory processing and emotional control respectively. So the functions of the ventral attention network are similar to the bottom-up control that we don't want when seeking flow, or in this case, when training the quiet eye. And indeed, the dorsal attention network appears to be activated at the expense of the ventral attention network during the quiet eye period, thereby protecting against distracting thoughts and emotions. So, since similar processes are involved in quiet eye and flow states, I wouldn't be surprised if there'd be more studies in the future finding a link between the two, and if quiet eye training becomes a more popular way to train flow. But irrespective of its relationship to flow, the quiet eye is fortunately trainable. In scientific studies, researchers often use eye tracking devices to assess gaze behavior, which then helps them calculate, for example, the number of times a player fixates the target, how often they looked away and revisited the target, and how long their vision remained on the target in total. But these devices are very expensive and perhaps not very practical for everyday training. So if you want to train your quiet eye yourself and improve your performance, you can still do that. For example, by drawing a spot on the target, perhaps the back of the golf ball or the rim, or work with a laser pointer. Ideally, you'll have a coach next to you giving you instructions and feedback while you try to keep your gaze fixated on the spot before, during, and also after the decisive movement. In sports like volleyball, for example, where ball tracking is more important than one single location, receivers need to become aware of deficiencies they have in ball detection and tracking, so they can detect the ball earlier and track it longer before the pass is made. As with everything, it takes practice. But evidence is promising that this can help you avoid choking under pressure and unleash peak performance in crucial moments. We also developed a specific flow session called Quiet Eye that you'll find in the training area of Focus in the FlowLab app. That may be beneficial for athletes as well as anyone who wants to improve their focus. It's obviously inspired by the quiet eye from the sports context, but you'll also train a more general attention control. Specifically in this session, you're meditating with your eyes open while finding a visual focus point in your surroundings and trying to maintain your attention there for as long as possible. Whenever you notice your attention and perhaps gaze wander, you deliberately shift them back to the visual focus point and explore it in all its details. Make sure to give this flow session a try and let me know how it works for you in the comments below. I hope you liked this video and you learned anything new today. If so, I'd be happy if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more mental fitness videos that will be released every Friday. Go get it and see you next time.